In this tutorial, I'm going to look at organizing media types, and what I mean by that is all the different sorts of file that we've got that we are going to use within a project. Now, as I mentioned in the previous tutorial, Vegas Pro 12 allows us to create copies into one area on our hard drive. Now, can I suggest organizing all your assets into one central location on your hard drive? Now, this isn't compulsory. You can certainly have Vegas Pro 12 running with all your files scattered around across your hard drive or multiple hard drives. But in my opinion, you'll make your workflow that much more smooth, and you'll also help to deaden the CPU load on your PC if you've got all these disparate files that were spread around all over the place in one central folder, one main folder. Of course, inside that folder, you can reorganize your various assets into specific folders. Well, as you can see here, I've got my Explorer open, and within my relevant main folder, I can see these subfolders for bios, biographies, we'll look at this in a moment, music files, pictures, a song folder, and a video folder. We've also got another photograph there. I'm going to remove that in a moment. And we've got these additional movie files. Now, really, these movie files should be better organized. However, these are copies made by the process that we ran in the last tutorial. Right, I want to remove that photograph because when I imported it, it didn't import properly. So I'll right-click on it and then simply run down and hit delete. Then I'll just click on yes. Note also, after these video copies, I have this Vegas Pro 12.veg extension file, and that's our Vegas Pro file that's running this project. Okay, now let's see what we've got. If I double-click on my video folder, well, we see the original video files that I'm going to be using throughout this project from now on. I'll just click on the top left there on the back button to go back. And in my bios folder, this is my biography folder, well, I've got some photographs in here, and these photographs are of the band. Now, they differ to the other photographs we're going to see in a second, in that the band provided these photographs with text embedded on them to be used as biography photographs. So therefore, they're in this folder, this BIOS folder, to differentiate them from the other photographs folder. I'll hit back once more. And in this music files folder, well, this contains all the files, all the music files, to synchronize with my videos. The videos, once we start listening back to them, require this audio file to be synchronized with them. I'll hit my back button, and in my pictures folder, well, in here, this contains more photographs than I'll ever need, I think, for this particular project, but they are there should I need them. I'll hit my back button once more, and I'll move across to this song folder. Now in here, well, this contains all the separate files, all the separate instrument files that make up this particular song. So I've got a bass track, some drum tracks, a vocal track, etc., etc. Because later during this course, I want to be able to use these different files to show you how we can remix a song using the mixer. I'll hit the back button, and here in our video folder, well, we saw these files earlier. I'll hit the back button once more. And now what I'll do is I'll flip over to Vegas Pro 12, and as you can see here, and as we saw in the last tutorial, here are the 4 files that I brought in. I didn't bring all the movie files in, I just simply brought these 4 in. Now you'll remember in the previous tutorial, I sent these 4 files down to my timeline. Well, I only really did that so that you could see how easy it is to do it. In reality, I want to make sure all my files are correct first of all for this project. Hence, I've removed them from the timeline. Don't forget you can use that vertical scroller there if you want to see all 4 of the thumbnails. Incidentally, if you don't want to see this panel of tags down here, then simply left-click on the drop reveal there and choose to deselect the bottom option, Media Tags. As a result, we've now reclaimed more space at this screen resolution. Okay, so we now see our 4 thumbnails in a little bit more detail, i.e. we can see the bottom one better. Now, to retain even more screen real estate, remember we can click on this top button to collapse the video track to a single strip. And I can do the same thing, of course, for our audio track. As a consequence, this means if I left-click on the horizontal divider now to drag down to see all my 4 thumbnails, well, I can do without the need for that vertical scroller. And in fact, because I drag this down now and I don't need the vertical scroller, it gets removed from our view. Okay, now just play around with this so that it works for you. You could bring the video track back should you want to, just simply by clicking on that button. Okay, now I'm going to finish up here then, talking through this organising media types information tutorial, which is just that, information really. You don't have to do what I've just said, but it does, as I mentioned at the beginning of the tutorial, it does allow your CPU to have less strain put on it, shall we say, if you've got all your assets in one place.